Hello, how you guys doing? This is Darian. I'm just hopping on here for another video this week. I hope everybody's been having a great week so far. I want to encourage some people today in regards to something that I'm experiencing now on the journey that I'm currently on. And it's this idea of having to ask for help. And so when I took the leap to become a full-time entrepreneur, I'm leaving the classroom. I knew that I would, need help, but I didn't know that things would be as tough as they have been. And so for these past months, I had a major issue. I've been struggling, if you will, with this idea of having to ask people for help. And so when I talk about asking, I'm talking about many things, whether it be resources, finances, opportunities, sales, instruction, whatever it may be, just the power of having to ask, or the effects of having to ask for help. And so so recently I've had to ask for help in this journey, and it has been a tough thing. And in the past, it took me a while to ask for help. I've encountered so many tough consequences and experiences because I didn't ask. And so please understand that when it comes to the point where you don't ask and you're supposed to ask, you definitely have some consequences, some of us, and I've definitely experienced that. But anyhow, I'm really not here to talk about the negative end of things, but just kind of tell you and just share with someone in case they need it, someone that's in right now in a position. I think we all in position sometimes have to ask. A lot of times, whether it be through how advice in our relationships, whatever it may be, the world should kind of function in the community where you're asking, and you're asking for support, and you're getting support and so forth. And so, but I'm talking about asking. I'm not talking about in regards to taking advantage of someone or being a leech or having the wrong intent. What I'm talking about asking is you have the right heart about something, you need help, and it's an important thing that you do get the help that you're seeking. And I know biblically God teaches us to ask as well. So asking is a great thing. It's a way of learning. I even taught, my students to be inquisitive in class and ask questions. And though, again, we have different spectrums of asking. It's different asking for money versus asking for how to do this and that. But anyhow, it's an underground foundational element that people have to deal with when they find it hard to ask people for things. But anyhow, so I talk about one time sort of dodging a date, not the person, but just dodging and not planning a date at the bumper car, experience or what have you. So it was asked to maybe do bumper car for our date, and I said no because I didn't want to, and here's why. And I know it's kind of silly and it's crazy that I had this fear, but fear, if it gets in your childhood or just whatever, fear through experiences, it has a way of gripping you, and it's a tough thing to unravel sometimes. But anyhow, because I just had a fear, growing up, of just rejection and just different things, and not looking like I know what I'm doing, and there could be some pride there too. I'm not afraid to admit that. I remember one time we had went out to do bumper cars when I was younger. It was fun experience with some people. I can't remember if it was high school or what have you, but it was just we went bumper car. We went to ride bumper cars with some people, and I remember getting stuck, and it was so embarrassing to me because at that point I should have not that shouldn't have been the case. But I could just remember, similar to my baseball experience when I said softball, when I played a couple of softball games, and how I was afraid to strike out in front of everybody, and that little walk that you have to go back to once you go back to the bench after striking out, it's that little embarrassing minute or 2 minute embarrassing moment that you have to experience and have to go through. And it's in your head. Not everybody felt that way, but that was just something that I went through. It's the same thing with the bumper cars. So I remember getting stuck and then just being embarrassed and not wanting to look up, because of course you got people outward and you got a few people kind of joking around, friends laughing or what have you. And then I have to sit there and wait for someone, one of the workers to come and get me, to get me together and get me out of this rut that I'm in. And so so ever since then I was just nervous about it. I was like, I don't want to, if I go bumper cars, it's just embarrassing to, if I go do bumper cars, it's just embarrassing to get stuck, and then everybody's going to be looking. And again, this could be all here. It's all a mental thing. But this is I'm just kind of sharing with you guys where I was with that and why I had this fear. And so I know you're trying to figure out, what does this have to do with asking? And this is the bumper car experience shows just where I was concerned with having to ask for help, because I felt like when you ask for help, It's telling people that you're stuck. And in a point where you're thinking that I should not be stuck here. I should know how to do this. I should know how to do that. I should have this resource. I should have this, and so forth. And so you feel like you're unveiling to people that you're stuck, and then you have this embarrassing moment in your head. Just like, again, you're sitting there waiting on the bumper car worker to come get you out of this rut. The same thing, you're like, man, I'm stuck here. And when you ask people for help, they will have to know, that, hey, something's wrong. Not wrong in a negative sense, but hey, it's an issue here, and you need help. And when you say you need help with something, it shows that you don't necessarily know what you're doing. And again, that could be a pride issue, but I just grew up with that kind of mentality. And again, one of the biggest things that was a hindrance to me asking for help was because I seen where you ask for help and you continuously have to ask for help. You never get on the other side of giving or just overcoming, always needing help. And that was a fear that I had. I didn't want to be seen as a leech. It was just an automatic thing in my head. If I ask somebody for this, they're going to think that I'm going to, that this is just who I am, that I'm just going to be in this beggar or what have you. Like I said, I know it can be kind of silly for some people, but that's just where I was. I'm thinking about the beggar on the street. They beg and they continuously have to beg to never get out of the situation. And this is something that I seen growing up. And I was like, I do not want to be, I don't want to be that person that people avoid because, they're like, oh, she is asking for this, asking for that, because she hadn't been able to overcome and get to where she needs to be. And so I just had, this fear of asking people for things. And every once in a while, I would if I really, really needed to. But there were some times where I should have asked for help. And man, oh man, I didn't. I said, I just go through the consequences. I just go through the tough times and the pain and just the, everything that comes along sometimes when you have a fear of asking. You should have asked for help. And so now you just got to deal with the circumstance. And sometimes you have grace, but there are some times I did not have grace, and I just experienced some craziness because I was just scared to ask. And so, and I just want to encourage people in just my recent weeks and recent months, and just I've had to ask for help in various areas of my life. And I'm not there all the way, but I just was brought to tears recently with just some of the support system that I had, that I really didn't know. Not that they wasn't there, but I really didn't know that I had, because I'm so caught up in my own mind that you can even get to the point where you feel like nobody wants to support you. And again, that's the enemy. You get into inferiority, nobody want to support you, and so forth. And so also that's the enemy I have to learn as well. But I recently had to ask for some support in some areas. I've even had to ask for sales. And again, that's a part of business, but a lot of times when you're in entrepreneurship, I know the new wave is now that you're such an expert that people just come to you now. If you're so great of a marketer, and so forth, people will just come. Your audience will come, and I understand that. But after knowing this and kind of seeing this is kind of what's going on with what I see on social media in regards to selling and so forth, what I had to literally ask, message people to buy, a product. I felt at this point that it was like she don't know, things not going well, or she don't know what she's doing, sales aren't happening like it should, and you kind of have this inferiority. And I went through the process, and I got some support there, but again, it took me hours. I typed in messages, I sat there and looked at email, just emailing schools and contacting schools and going to schools and writing letters to schools. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just contemplating, because I'm afraid to ask because of the rejection, one. And then again, in the back of my head, I feel like if I ask for help, I'm not going to know how to get out of having to keep asking. And again, that's something that I grew up in. And so I wanted to avoid that at all costs. And so, but anyhow, in the past week or so, I've really had some great support, and just some people that responded in such a loving way that I literally was crying. When I got off the phone or after I looked at the email and so forth, it just brought me to tears, because in my head I'm like, man, this is, if I had asked all along, this is the reaction. This is, these people were here and very supportive, and I just didn't know it. I talked myself out of certain things because just of that fear. And so I want to just share with you all today, if anybody, feels the way I feel. Again, we're not talking about asking for things and being taking advantage of being a leech and having to always ask and never being on the other side of giving, but just being the person that's on the side of really needing help and afraid to ask for it. I just want to share with you, if that's you, that you get the courage today to just ask whatever it is. Like I said, I don't know, so many things that could fall under anything from support to sales to monetary support to instructions to whatever it may be, to helping with, other things, babysitting, babysitting something at the house, whatever. Like I said, it can be many things that you ask for help in, and God has built a system, a kingdom where we support each other, and you ask, say hey, and then you give, and you ask, and you give, and you support, and you help build each other up. And so that's something that I've had to learn, and that I am learning in this journey of entrepreneurship, and just many other things, and just some changes and some seasonal things that's happening right now in my life. But I'm very, very grateful for people who can understand your heart and understand your situation, and they support authentically and wholeheartedly, and just out of my gratitude for those people, I made this video because I just want to encourage somebody else that even though it may take you, like I said, I was literally looking at messages for an hour before I sent it, just nervous, and just trying not to talk myself out of asking for help. I didn't want people to know that I was stuck. Like I said, the bumper car, you stuck, and just a little moment of just feeling embarrassed, can catch somebody up. And since then, I have not, been on bumper cars. I may need to go and do bumper cars soon this summer, just to get out of that. And I'm fine now. This is years ago, but it was just one of those things where that was really the reason why. The little back in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want to do the bumper cars because I don't want to be stuck as an adult. I don't want people to see me stuck. And that transferred over into other areas of my life. And I just want to encourage somebody today. And it's easier said than done. Like I said, it took me hours to get my nerves up to ask people for things. And then, but the reaction I received was priceless. And it let me know, and God let me know that that it's okay. But also to make sure that when I'm asked of things and I'm able to do things, that I'm doing the same and just supporting other people. And I want to be in that position to return favors and to and so forth. And so so it's just been great to see that ice kind of be a little bit broken up for me. And like I said, I still have some ways to go, but I just want to encourage anybody that may be looking at this video that is really in need of help or support in some way and just afraid to ask. I just want to encourage you to go ahead and ask. You never know what the reaction can be. And I've had some rejection, I've had quite a bit, plenty. I've had some rejection, and I'm grateful too to have learned how to take that as well. But I think it's just having the yeses, even if it's one, and having the support and encouraging words and so forth has helped me be okay with just go ahead and go forward and asking for help. So anyhow, I don't know whoever's dealing with that, and I think all of us have come to a season, no matter where it may be, where we need to ask people for help, no matter what position they in. So anyhow, so just be encouraged. If you are in a situation where you need to get help and you're just afraid and you're kind of dealing with the tough consequences of that because of your fear, I just want to encourage you, like I did myself, just be encouraged and kind of build yourself up. Know that God, God supports asking for help. God wants us to ask Him for help. That's ultimately, that's all He really wants. And so that's a whole nother video there. And so I just want to encourage you to let go of the pride, as I had to, and as I still have to, and step into some humility and just ask. And so be encouraged. All right, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.